how do we think compensation is going to change in the next 5 years or so? It seems like this year we've seen in the last several months, we've seen a lot of changes in technologies coming out and how they're being applied to HR. I think in the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of changes around compensation just as the labor markets moved, is post pandemic world and during pandemic world really kind of changed the way that comp was done. And I think we'll continue to see that over the next several years. So Bryan, as our guest speaker, just would I was fortunate enough to see you earlier this week at the World at Work conference and chat as well. But you had a presentation. What was your presentation over this year?
So this year we kind of talked about future-proofing compensation and those types of things. And, I would say the elevator speech was, with chatbots and everything else kind of coming in, AI, a lot of stuff that we have done over the last 20 years or taken for granted is like, people work or things like there'll be steps that get automated and how do we adjust to that? And I think, there's probably a framework of how we do that. And some of what I shared was it's not going to be just about, are we competitive? Are we equitable? But how do we tell the story to like position our companies with like the right employee value proposition? How do we talk to people about their opportunities? How do we talk to people about like their growth and their financial health and how do we differentiate people? So, it's kind of this framework of these 6 different views where we've historically focused really hard in compensation about 2 of those 6, but the other 4 are kind of like what we leave out in sort of the arty space where we say, oh, like that's the art of this, or like, talk to your manager about that, or, that's for the HR professionals to decide, or, your HR business partner will help you with that. So I think it's how do we bring more of the science around, like as things that we've done and that you can train a computer to do, how do we do those things that bridge the gap further into the employee experience?